Hello there, welcome to GhanaWeb TV with me, Maoli Aholemega. Today we'll be continuing our financial literacy series with our very good friends from Fidelity Bank, Ghana, and I have here with me Ransford Nana Ado Jr. He's the head of financial crime management here at Fidelity Bank. Ransford, good to see you again. How are you?
Good to see you, my brother. Fine,
yes.
Thank you.
The last time we met, we had a very insightful conversation. How have things been for you here at Fidelity in terms of financial crime? Great.
We're managing.
Nice. Yeah. So today we'll be delving into one of our key topics, which is social engineering. From your point of view, what exactly is social engineering?
Okay. So social engineering is a clever way of manipulating people to divulge very sensitive information that under normal circumstances they wouldn't have given out, or to act in a way that under normal circumstances they wouldn't act. So if I asked you to give me your phone number so I could defraud you, you won't give me. But if I just told you that, oh, my phone has dropped anywhere here and I need you to call me so that I could check whether my phone is with me, it's a very nice way of getting your number. So I've manipulated you for you to actually buy into my story, but my motive for telling you what I told you is to defraud you.
Very well said. Whilst I was doing my research, I noticed there was some bits of human psychology that is tied to social engineering. Any idea how that works?
So social engineering is called, in some of the literatures, the act of human hacking. So it's basically exploit the human tendency to trust. Human beings are trust beings. So it exploits the human tendency to trust. And it is not technical in terms of hacking. It uses more of psychological methods rather than technical hacking. And it is very difficult to trace, because if I manipulated you to tell me something, there is no record anywhere, or there is no audit trail anywhere to show that you have told me something very sensitive.
So can you share some real world examples of some social engineering acts that have taken place, particularly in the banking sector?
Oh yes, for some years now, within the banking industry, not only in Ghana but globally, if you look at the UK fraud reports for the past 4 years, social engineering fraud attacks has become one of the topmost schemes. And within Ghana, we have had our own share within industry, where fraudsters call customers purporting to be calling from their banks, and they make them believe them through the use of things like Truecaller. You know, Truecaller can be edited.
Yes.
So
even WhatsApp.
Yes, they get to Truecaller and then just get a fraud number, a number they are going to use for the attack, and they save it like XYZ Bank. So when they call, the customers actually see on Truecaller XYZ Bank.
They will assume
it's from there. So that is it. They are using the psychological method. The second thing they would do, or they have been doing, is to put, you know, the jingles of the banks.
Attach them to the phone calls.
Yeah, you attach it to the phone calls. They put people on hold, and they speak very eloquent English.
Yeah.
Yes. So
even with the mobile, some of the mobile
very
money fraud as
eloquently.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we see a lot of that happening.
It makes these customers believe them, and then they move to the next stage after they have gained their trust, to ask for very confidential details or make them act in a way. What they do is to say that, oh, we are updating your bank records. And because of privacy, we have sent you some unique codes to your phone. So mention those codes to us. Those are actually one-time passwords, and you do not share your password. So they make them share the password without even knowing. And then they either take over the account or enter into their mobile apps, or if it's card, they go through the card and then they spend their money. So this is an example of the social engineering attacks that is very common within our space.
So Ransford, are there some red flags that individuals, not just individuals, as well as organizations should be looking out for, I mean, to know that they are actually, you know, under some social engineering?
Social engineering is a scam. And in scam, the word scam is actually an acronym. Okay. When it seems too good to be true, one of the first means of social engineering attacks is to present something very juicy. which seems too good to be true. So the S, when it seems too good to be true, that's the first warning sign.
Yeah.
Oh, we have selected you, you have won something. Fidelity Bank never announced to you, or your bank never announced to you that
You've won a
they are
lottery
doing
or
anything
something, yeah.
that you're going to win. There's no advert showing that you've won anything. All of a sudden you have won. It seems too good to be true.
Yeah.
The next one which makes it a scam is when you are contacted. See, when you are contacted out of the blue. How come all the people, somebody just called and say, hey, I want to talk to you about something.
They want to give you some money
You
somewhere.
need to, yes, verify
Yeah, you
from
have
your
to probe
bank
it,
whether it is your bank that is calling you.
Yeah.
And the biggest warning sign is when asked for personal details. Can you give us your Ghana card number? Can you give us your PIN? Can you mention a code? Codes are private keys. You don't share codes.
Yeah.
So the last one, sometimes money is being requested. So it becomes a scam.
Yeah.
So these are the warning signs. But one of the key things that we need to take away from here is that no bank will ever call you and tell you that we want you to mention your PIN to us, or there's a code that has come on your phone, so mention it to us.
Yeah.
No bank will ever do that. Now, another thing that they use in winning people's trust is to put fear in them. That we are updating your records, and if you don't act now, your account will be closed.
That's where the human psychology
Yes, the human
comes.
psychology. So they put a sense of urgency. The social engineers strive on sense of urgency to win your trust to act. So anytime that either they are calling you or they have sent you a message telling you that your bank is requesting for certain sensitive details and you do not provide it, your bank account will be closed. They are using threats, they are using urgency to make you panic and act. Don't give out this information.
Very well said, Ransford. But social media is what we all use today. And I know a lot of predators hide in plain sight on social media. How has social media, helped this whole social engineering activities to take place? Has it been good or bad?
It has become an oxygen that fuels the social engineering fraud attacks. On social media, there's a lot of anonymity. Social media, I keep on telling people that who you see is not who he is. So you will see a whole site on social media which looks like a bank, which looks like a company that is employing people, or which looks like a firm that is recruiting people. And then people fall prey. They also, a lot of identity thefts also takes place on social media. So you'd see people purporting to be CEOs of banks, top politicians, MPs, ministers of state, requesting that people should pay money for them to be given jobs. So social media has become a fuel that has sparked a lot of fraud and controversy.
In terms of the laws, I mean, I know you're not a lawyer, but in terms of the laws in Ghana here, can anyone be persecuted for social engineering, engaging in the act?
Yes. If you look at our Criminal Offences Act of 1960, Act 29, you look at Section 131 and 132, it talks about defrauding by false pretense. So if anybody calls and says, I'm calling from your bank, when he's not calling from that bank, and he ends up defrauding you, yes, you can be prosecuted for that. That is defrauding by false pretense.
And are there, I mean, in terms of beyond that, let's come to organizations. What do you think employers should be doing in terms of training their employees to know some of these tactics out there, so that they can even tell when even they are being used? Because sometimes we have a lot of people within the banks perpetuating some of these acts.
So employee awareness and fraud education is a very important aspect of every fraud management strategy of every institution. When you train your employees, they become your ears and your eyes on the ground. There's a saying that if you are able to see fraud, you can stop fraud. The only way you can make the employees see fraud is through awareness. So awareness. And it's not something you do once and you go to sleep. Constantly, the typologies are changing, they are evolving. So you need to always be educating your staff for them to become your ears and your eyes on the ground.
Does cybersecurity have to play a role to combat social engineering? Making it strong.
Partly yes, because social engineering, like we have mentioned, is a human problem. The human tendency to trust. So for instance, even if you have the best of technology and the human being is compromised, you will be exposed.
Yeah.
But some way, somehow, there are technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, geofencing, that will analyze transactions to say that even if the human being has been loose and has been, if you like, scammed, you can still hold some transactions and say that this is not where this customer usually transacts from. It could be that somebody has taken over the account. So technology plays a role. Also, you need to protect data and information because these people call based on phone numbers that they have and all that. So some data privacy, some data protection also comes in. And then you need tools, constant penetration test. You need to make sure that your systems are very strong enough to be able to antivirus and all that. In as much as it's a human problem, technology has a role to play.
Okay. So, Ransford, what are some of the schemes with regards to social engineering?
A lot of them. A lot of them.
Yeah.
I'll deal with the very common ones. The first one is what you call phishing, where phishing sounds like you are fishing, but the spelling is PH, not FI. Yeah. So they throw something that is attractive into the air, into an email, and when you fall for it, you are scammed.
Like a lucrative offer.
Yes. It could be that, hey, you have a job, click on this link, and register and all that. Yeah. So that is phishing. The phishing emails are quite common. The phishing emails sometimes instruct you to actually perform some transactions that under normal circumstances you wouldn't perform. We've seen in the past some business people who have received emails from their vendors to transfer monies into some accounts, and those were actually fraudulent accounts. So verify your emails. If you get an email instructing payments, changing account numbers and all that when you are transacting, follow up with a phone call to say that I have received this email. Did it come from you?
Yeah.
That's very important. So the other ones, the calls that are made purporting to be coming from banks or telecom companies or insurance, it's also very, very common. Like I mentioned, do not pay attention to the jingles. Do not pay attention to the true callers.
Yeah.
Just look at the content. The devil, they say, is in the detail.
It's in the detail, yeah.
That we have done something, we are updating your records, and hey, okay, I'll call my relationship officer or I'll call the contact center of the bank to check. Do not fall victim. Now, it is a no when anybody is asking you directly, give me your PIN, let me do something for you. Now, what they do is that they play on the intelligence of, especially our older,
vulnerable people.
Yes, our vulnerable people, and say that just don't give me your PIN, just multiply every digit by 1 and mention them to me.
And they'll just do the mathematics.
Yes, and they just do the math, because 7 times 1 is the same 7.
Yeah.
Or they'll tell you multiply your PIN number by 2 and just mention it to one after the other.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, another thing that they do, they intentionally confront you and say that confirm if your PIN is 1624. No, it's not 1624.
Yeah.
It's 1872. You've given your PIN away without knowing.
Yeah.
And as for the codes that come on your phone, they generate it, and if you give it to them, they'll defraud you. Never mention any code that comes on your phone to anyone. It is a no. The last but not the least, it is the text messages that come. Do not fall prey to any text message demanding, or WhatsApp message asking you to take a picture of your card or your bank app and give it to them. It's a no-go area.
Finally, Ransford, before we wrap up, what advice would you give to SMEs and businesses, to sort of protect themselves from some of these social engineering acts?
They need to listen to programs like this, like what GhanaWeb you guys are doing. You need to stay on top of the trends. The fraudsters are very, very clever. They are always, bringing new tricks. And so what you need to do is to stay up to date with the latest fraud typologies, and also invest in tools that will help secure your funds and your business.
Ransford, thank you so much. I've been speaking with Ransford Nanado Jr. He's the head of financial crime here at Fidelity Bank Ghana. We've been delving into our financial literacy series right here on GhanaWeb TV. I am Mauli Aholemeka.